So how did you kind of break it down, man? Like, obviously, you know, you're obviously killing it. You're touring. You've been killing it as a comedian. But how did all this start for you?
I mean, shout out to the internet. You know, internet definitely changing a lot of people's lives right now if you're a content creator. But as far as like put me in the game, you actually just had my big homie Rene Vaca here not too long ago.
Yeah.
The way I kind of started getting on the road was I came across some of his videos. He was actually one of the first people to start like with those viral stand-up clips. Now I know that they're all over the internet. You know, most of them are trash. But he was
everybody's doing them.
Yep, everybody's doing them, but they don't. Everybody don't.
And also they're forcing crowd work to try to get one of those moments, as opposed to just focusing on the comedy.
Yeah, it sucks to see a comedian perform looking for a clip or chasing a clip.
Yes, because like, dude, just do as a good set and it'll happen.
Yeah. If it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't. It's way more organic. You feel me? But Rene was one of those guys that like he was never looking for the clip. He's just a fucking crazy motherfucker on stage. His energy is insane. So his videos would automatically go viral, you know. And I remember me and my homeboy Chins at the time, were watching him and we're like, dude, whenever this kid, I don't know who this kid is, but we need to go see him whenever he comes to Chicago. And he had booked a show at the Laugh Factory out there. At this point, Rene only had like 40,000 followers. So I messaged him. I was like, hey man, you know, I'm a comedian in Chicago. At that point, I had like 1,000 followers or something. Right. I was like, would love to open for you. Would love to work with you. You know, you're from San Fernando Valley. I got family in San Fernando. You know, I was trying to like relate to him. You feel me? Like, so he gave me a spot, but he was like, bro, I already got people coming with me. You know, I'm sorry, I can't really give you a spot. And I understand him because now I get people that message me that, and you're like,
I got my openers.
What the fuck would I put you up? Yeah. You know, so I get them now. Yeah. But at that time, you know, I was like, damn. Luckily, I had a relationship with the club. So then the club ended up hitting me up. They're like, you know what? Somebody dropped out, so you come do 5 minutes open for him. I was like, all right, fuck it. So I went up first before all his openers. And I low-key killed that shit. And there was only like 40 people there. Like he wasn't that big at the time, so we didn't really sell tickets. It was kind of empty. But we rocked the show. That night we drank, and then he started telling me like, bro, put your content out. Put your content out. Like, it's gonna start to blow up. People will follow you. You know, I was like, all right, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. So we start. Me and my roommate at the time, I told him, I was like, I'm gonna pay for your half of the rent. Just do me a favor, like just cut out clips for me. And that's all I need you to do. He was my video guy at the time. He was like, all right, fuck it, I'll do it. So we started putting out clips every week. And I started growing. Rene started blowing up like to the max. Then he was gonna come back to Chicago. The time he came back to Chicago, he actually hit me up. He's like, hey man, I see you've been doing your thing. I'm about to go back. Help me promote this show. Let's sell it out. I'll let you feature for me. And he'll give you 20 minutes instead of 5. I was like, all right, fuck it. We announced the show. It sold out like in 2 days. Shit. It was like 300 people. So I was like, oh shit, like we got something going here. So then we did the show. He actually, his feature, something had happened. We had overbooked the show, so they had to have me host instead, which hosting kind of sucks because then you got to go first. And then
in the middle of everybody.
In the middle of everybody. But I was like, you know what? Instead of looking at it like, fuck, you know, I got demoted, I'm going to look at it like opportunity. I get to go up there multiple times, so I'm going to make them love me. So I went up there, I fucking rocked that shit, and it got to a point where the people were waiting for the comedians to hurry up and finish just so they could see me again. So then Rene obviously went up there and rocked that shit. And then from there, he told me, he's like, hey, bro, call off work tomorrow and let's go to Detroit. I got another tour stop up there. Shit, I was like, shit, say less. I called.
Where were you working?
I was doing leasing for an apartment complex at over there and back home. And I was like, fuck it. So I called off work and we went up to Detroit. We drove all the way up to Detroit. We did the show. And from there, we went out to drink to a Buffalo Wild Wings. I remember this is the realest shit somebody ever did for me in comedy. We were drinking at the B-Dubs. And he's like, bro, you need to come to LA. Have you ever performed in LA? And at that time, I already was kind of building a following, and people would tell me, like, are you from LA? You need to come to LA. I was like, I don't know nobody in LA, bro, so I've never performed out there, but I know I got people that's waiting on me. So he's like, how about this? You and me go to the Haha Comedy Club. We'll co-headline. So we'll go 50-50 on the door. You can have 50, I'll keep 50. And he didn't have to do that. He could have just been like, you could open for me.
And you would have been like, I'm in.
Oh, hell yeah. Fuck, I don't give a shit if I would have been negative. You feel me? Like, I'm coming. So, but instead, he did that for me. And before we left the B-Dubs, he had already got on the phone with the owner of Haha Comedy Club. Shout out to Terry. And we already had the link up before we left. So Ken Flores and Rene Vaca co-headlining Haha Comedy Club North Hollywood. So that to me was like, oh shit, like he's doing it. You know, he's not just talking out his ass. Because in this business, motherfuckers just be talking out their ass. So I was like, fuck it, we gone then. So from there, he went back home, and we didn't really speak until like the week of the shows. The show started selling out. We started with 1 show, ended up with 4 total. Wow. And I remember that weekend we did the show, and this motherfucker pulled out. He did it on purpose, but it was cool of him. He got the money in cash, and he gave me, it was like I don't know, like $6-7 grand. Big old stack of cash, and I had never had that much bread, like on like legal money, like that. I was like, damn, like this motherfucker just changed my life, literally. Like this $7,000, I'm able to quit my job and move out here. And then he's like, and I got Boston, New York, and he gave me a list of like 8 cities following weeks. He's like, let me know. So I didn't even call my boss. I just went back home. I dropped my keys off in the office. I got a one-way back to LA, and I never went back.
What year was this?
This is last year, at the beginning of the year, 2023, January.
Fuck.
Yeah. And now it's what the fuck, June 2024. I'm on my own tour. I got my own agents, my own management, and it's because every time he was in the room, he said my name.
So dope.
Hell yeah.
I feel like people don't be putting on like that, like they should, man. I feel like obviously you always hear guys like Joe Rogan bringing people up, but like, you know, I feel like there's the other side of comedy where people are very like stingy with the. Yeah, you gotta
be the thing about Rene, the way he moves, he's very confident, but he doesn't just appear to be confident. He is confident in his material and in his work, so he don't mind putting me up before him. There was a lot of times where I would do shows in Chicago, and people would be like, "Oh, I'm not gonna go after Ken because Ken's gonna rip it up,
right? And
then I'm gonna have to go fucking suck." So and he not scared of having to follow somebody funny.
Nah, I feel like you want somebody to kill it.
Hell yeah, that should be the mindset, but it isn't for a lot of people, you know. So they
want to be the funniest person of the night, no matter what.
Of course, yeah. Right. So even if it means booking people that suck and having the crowd have to sit through the bullshit, you know.
Right.
But he did that for me, and because he is confident in his material, he don't mind me getting a piece of the pie. And then you realize in this game, it's fucking money everywhere. So.
Now, when I saw you guys, I saw you and him and Concrete pulled up. That shit was, dog, that was one of the funnier nights. And you were roasting this dude in the front row. The whole crowd was chanting, "Frank is gay." Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Or no, "Frank sucks dick." Frank sucks dick. Oh my God.
Yeah, with that shit, you got to be careful, man, because you never know.
Now you're like, what do you want to do? I was like, damn. I was like, shit. But me and Ben Baller were like, what the fuck?
Yeah, at the same time, it's like a new age of comedy, you know, like.
No, it was cool though. It was so funny, dude. Yeah, it was a good night. So before you met Rene, how long was your comedic journey before that? Like, were you just doing open mics? Like,
I mean, so my license got revoked because I was
driving.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was already living in Aurora, so it's about like a 35-minute drive into the city. So I didn't really have rides to go into the city, so I couldn't really do open mics like that. I was only doing open mics in my hometown, which would only be like once a month. I did comedy about 5 years before I met Rene.
Wow.
So I was 5 years in.
But it was very much like a hobby, or were you super like in it? Like, yo, this shit's gonna work.
It had to work. Like I was like, it has to work because I know I don't want to go work at a factory no more or warehouse. I'm done with that shit. I was into drugs really bad too.
Doing them or selling them?
Doing them.
Okay.
No, I was not selling nothing. I was doing all my product. but
what drugs were you doing?
Cocaine, man.
Oh yeah. Huh?
Yeah, that's the one that fucked you up.
That'd explain why you're friends with our good buddy Alexis.
But anyway, so yeah, and I ended up I was doing open mics or whatever, but I kind of had to make sure I killed every show I was on to be able to leave with another booking from that show because I didn't have time to hang out or the opportunity to hang out. Right. Exactly, I just couldn't do it because I didn't have the ride. I was fucked, so I had to work with what I had. So I only in my whole life, it's kind of weird to say, and people don't believe me when I say it, but I've only ever done like 8 or 9 open mics ever.
Wow.
From there, it was just shows that I was booking, and then the internet and Rene just took everything off. But luckily, like I was ready, and it also takes talent. It's not hard work is hard work, but there's also got to be a little.
Yeah, you can work really hard at putting out shitty music. No one's gonna like it.
Yeah, but
like if you suck, you suck. Like it is what it is. Now, if you have a little bit of talent, maybe we see some subpar comedians doing well, but they have great fucking work ethics.
Yeah, exactly. So you will get better.
100%.
Yeah, and that's what I've been doing on the road because I definitely wasn't ready because a lot of comedians, especially like the OGs, like the Bert Kreischers, Tom Segura's, like most of them, they got to feature for years before they started headlining. So they walked into a lot of these venues already. So when you walk into somewhere that you've already been to before,
it's different.
It's a completely different confidence. Even if the staff is
you know it, you know the place,
you know where the backstage is, where the bathroom is.
You kind of have an idea about the people who come to the shows in those cities.
Exactly. And you're not iffy about like, you're not iffy about shit, But and then with me, it's like a lot of these places I'm going to is I'm going there for the first time, so I don't know how I'm gonna get treated. I don't know what to expect.
Right.
But so it kind of like the first night's always kind of like kind of rubbing the dust off or whatever. But yeah, man. I mean, shit. Fuck it. We live in a time where it's like it's either now or never. So I'm not gonna be like, oh no, I can't do it because I fuck it. You gotta learn as we go.